Alright, hello everyone. Continuing from the last video, I want to show you how to interpret these last two regressions. Okay, the only difference in these is it's the same 1,000 people, but the only difference is we're looking at the log wage instead of the hourly wage. And it's the same. It's all I've done is a mathematical transformation here, taking the natural logarithm of the wage, and the reason I do that is, I'll show you in a minute, but it's to get a different answer. Excel's going to spit out a bunch of different numbers and we want to understand what it means. Okay, so let's go back to data analysis. Let's go to regression. Okay, I have my input, my y range. This is, the output variable, the one we're interested in. Control Shift down. So I have again the label and all 1,000 observations, all 1,000 wages. Okay, and now we want to do the X range. Okay, I'll give you in the instructions, it's not necessarily the case I want you to control for everything. Maybe I just want you to control for a few things. So let's start with female and race and education and marriage and children. Let's just do those. Okay, so I'm doing B through L here. All right, I'll tell you, you have to be sure and check which ones I ask you to look at. And now I'll press down for that. So I have, again, the labels in row 1 through 1001. Okay, that's the ones I want. Label, I'm going to do this in a new worksheet ply, reg output 2, something like that. I hit OK. All right, now I have new answers. These numbers are a little bit different than last time. Okay, so the key to this, when we're doing a regression on the log of wages, the way you interpret these numbers, these coefficients, again, this is the important part, the coefficients. All right, I'm going to highlight these just so we can focus on them. The coefficients. How do we interpret these? We interpret these in terms of percent. Okay? So what does the female coefficient at negative 22% mean? Well, it means that after controlling for race, education, age, marriage, and children, females in the sample make 22% less than men on average, okay, after all these controls. So females make 22% less. Again, here we're focused on not just the coefficient, but the range. Okay, so also, of course my computer is also continues to lock up on me, but again we're looking at not just the coefficient but the range. So these ranges are also in percentage terms. So what's actually going on for females? Well, if we took 100 different samples, we'd get 100 different coefficients, and they'd range from negative 28 to negative 15. So the ranges, women may be making anywhere between 28 and 15% less than males in these regressions. So we have this is the range, this is the coefficient, that's what we want to focus on. Finally, can we safely say with any confidence, statistically, do women make less? Well, if they're making less, at least 15%, all the way to 28%, they're always making less, so we're pretty confident in that. Okay, so regression 2 on the log of wages, percentage terms. Let's go to the third one. All right, again, the same 1,000 workers. The only thing that's different is a output variable. We're not looking at wages anymore. Instead, we want to see, okay, is this worker a manager or not? And what's the probability that they've become a manager? Okay, and we want to look at the difference in probability between two groups. So this is our output. So let's go to, now this type of regression, this regression is different because our output variable is a dummy variable. Okay, there's lots of ways of doing this, but the simple way is through our regular regression. We call this a linear probability model. Okay, probability of being a manager, yes, or being a manager, no, 1 or 0. All right, let's do the data analysis. Regression. Okay, it's very nice since I'm doing the regression again. It already has my output variables selected, A1 through A1001. My input range is this. I think in the lab I asked you to just do B and C. I'm going to go ahead and do it a little bit different here. Okay, again, you click the labels. Since we have labels A1, B1, etc. We want a new worksheet ply. This is reg output 3. Okay, so everything's in here. I'm checking everything. I have the controls B through L. That's what I want to run right now. You'll run something different. Okay, new worksheet ply. I'm good to go. All right, so I have slightly different numbers here. All right, slightly different numbers. Now, there's a trick in these. The way we look at these numbers, here, these coefficients, all right, this is, again, the important part. This coefficient for female is minus 0.01. What does that mean? Well, we interpret these coefficients in terms of percentage point differences. This is the percentage point difference for a female versus a male worker becoming a manager. Okay, percentage point differences are a little bit tricky in Excel. There's not, before we've used the dollar sign for dollars, the percentage sign for percent. Here, you have to do something kind of tricky. So I'm gonna just go over here and give you a kind of a possible way you want to do it. Okay, let's say that this is my lower 95. I'm just giving it to you the way you're gonna answer it in the lab. Okay, you want the lower 95, the coefficient, and the upper 95. Okay, the coefficient here, for a percentage point, you have to take this number and multiply it by 100, okay, and then put percentage points after it. So this is equal to 100 times that. So what is this? And you can even put it in, take the decimals away, give it a few smaller significant digits. So what does this mean? That means after controlling for everything else, female workers have a 1 percentage point lower chance of becoming a manager. Okay, that's the coefficient. Here we also want to look at the confidence interval, so 100 times the lower bound. Okay, and again I can make those go down. Okay, it could be as much as 5 percentage points less, or it could be, I get the upper bound here. Oh, it could be females may have a 2.9 percentage point chance more of more likelihood, 2.9 percentage point higher probability of becoming a manager compared to males. Okay, so it could be negative, it could be 1%, or it could be positive 2. Okay, can we safely say anything statistically about this result? And the answer here, of course, is no. Let's look at, if we drag this down, it's going to get the coefficient for black versus white. Okay, black workers have a almost 8 percentage point lower chance of becoming a manager. That could range to almost 15%, or it could be as small as just under a percentage point. But it's always negative in our confidence interval. So we can say with some confidence that black workers have a lower probability of becoming a manager. Okay, so this is the trick. You find these coefficients, you multiply it by 100, and again, it's kind of difficult to do here in Excel, but you add a PP to the end of this. And let me see if I can. It shouldn't be. No, it's not going to let me do that. Anyways, you add percentage point to the end of this. Okay, so 5.18 percentage points, negative 1.14 percentage points, 2.90 percentage points. Okay, I hope that clears things up. Good luck, and talk to you later.